Beneath the restless waters of Cardigan Bay, some say an ancient kingdom sleeps. A world of music, laughter and light, swallowed by the sea in a single night of ruin. They called it Cantre'r Gwaelod, the Lowland 100, Wales's very own Atlantis. And when the tide is low, locals still swear they can hear the faint ringing of church bells beneath the waves. But what if I told you this might not just be a myth? What if the Welsh legend of a drowned land is part of a global pattern, echoes of a memory stretching back to the dawn of humanity itself? Let's dive deep, not just into the waters of Wales, but into the mystery of the lost worlds of Earth. Our story begins on the windswept shores of Cardigan Bay, on the western coast of Wales, a place where the horizon seems endless and the sea hides more secrets than it reveals. For centuries, locals have whispered of a sunken kingdom beneath these waters, a lost land known as Cantre'r Gwaelod, the Lowland 100. It wasn't just a tiny island or cluster of rocks. It was said to be a vast and prosperous kingdom, rich in farmland, music and laughter. Just imagine it, green meadows stretching toward the sea, markets filled with the sound of chatter and song, church bells ringing in the coastal air. This was the jewel of the Welsh coast, Wales's Atlantis, a land so fertile the crops grew twice in a season. Cantre'r Gwaelod was built below sea level, protected only by huge embankments and floodgates, early feats of Welsh engineering that kept the tides at bay. Legend says these great sluice gates were the pride of the kingdom, maintained day and night to stop the ocean from swallowing their world. But protection comes with responsibility. The floodgates were guarded by two princes, both known for their bravery, but only one for his discipline. For the one prince, the guardian of the gates, was said to be charming, loud, and perpetually drunk. One stormy night a great feast was held at the palace for the king of Cantre'r Gwaelod. As the wine flowed and the music filled the halls, the tide outside began to rise, higher than usual, driven by fierce winds. The prince, lost in his revelry, ignored the warning bells. He failed to close the gates, and when the storm struck, the sea rushed in. By dawn, the kingdom was gone. Whole villages swept away, homes and temples swallowed by the grey tide. The people of Cantre'r Gwaelod were lost, their laughter replaced by the roar of the ocean. Some say that as the last towers fell beneath the waves, the church bells of the capital rang out one final time, their echoes still heard today when the wind blows from the west. But others tell a different story, a story not of drunken neglect, but divine punishment. In this version, it was not a man but a woman, a young maiden tasked with guarding the kingdom's sacred wells. Her duty was to keep their waters pure and contained, but she too grew careless, and one fateful day the wells overflowed. The water surged across the land like an unstoppable beast, drowning the fields, flooding the temples, and forcing the people to flee their once great home. Whether through human folly or divine retribution, Cantre'r Gwaelod vanished beneath the sea. Yet some say it still exists, sleeping below the waves, waiting to return when the tides of time are right. And every few decades, during especially low tides near Borth Beach, locals claim to see ancient tree stumps and the remains of a forest floor emerging from the sands, as if the land itself is remembering what it once was. Standing there staring out over Cardigan Bay, it's easy to feel the weight of the legend, the sense that something was lost here, something more than just land. The story of Cantre'r Gwaelod, Wales's lost kingdom, has long been told as folklore, but beneath the waves of Cardigan Bay, the sea is starting to reveal its secrets. Just off the coast near Borth, during exceptionally low tides and after fierce storms, you can glimpse the stumps of prehistoric forest. Oaks, pines, alders, birches preserved under layers of peat and sand. Geoarchaeologists at University of Wales Trinity St David found ancient footprints, burnt hearthstones and a timber walkway beneath the hardened peat, dating back thousands of years. The vegetation appears to have flourished around 5,000 to 6,000 years ago, before rising water drowned the forest and buried it beneath peat and sand. But why does this matter? Well, because it shows that the coastline of Wales has changed dramatically. A land that once supported forests, animals and humans now lies beneath the waves, or gets revealed only when storms strip sand away. It gives weight to the idea that the legend of Cantre'r Gwaelod could originate in very real environmental change, a world inhabited then lost to the sea. Running out into Cardigan Bay are long ridges of shingle, stone and gravel. Historically, these ridges were thought to be the walls, causeways or sea defences of the drowned kingdom, part of the protective embankments that failed. But scientific analysis shows they are glacial moraines, deposits from the last ice age, roughly 11 to 15,000 years ago. Still, their presence gives a physical formation that could have sparked the legend. The visual effect of a ridge stretching from land under the sea fits the narrative of a man-made wall breached by waves. The legend gets even more compelling when we turn to cartography. In 2022, researchers at Swansea University and Oxford University published a paper analysing the medieval Goth map. They identified 2 islands drawn in Cardigan Bay that are absent from modern charts. Their conclusion? These could be remnants of a drowned landscape, ground underlain by soft glacial deposits, now eroded by rising sea. The research suggests the coastline may once have been further out to sea than today. That means the kingdom beneath the waves may have had a real-world predecessor, farmland closer to the sea lost to rising levels over millennia. But the legend of Cantre'r Gwaelod isn't unique. Across the world, human memory seems haunted by the same dream, a land lost to the sea, a world drowned but never forgotten. And when we line up these stories side by side, from Ireland to Greece, from India to the Pacific, something remarkable happens. They begin to sound less like isolated fables and more like chapters of one ancient book. The story of humankind remembering a time when the seas rose and swallowed their homes. Just west of Ireland, sailors spoke of a shimmering island that appeared only once every 7 years. They called it High Brasil. From the 14th to the 19th century, High Brasil appeared on dozens of maps, round, golden, sometimes divided by a river. Even King Henry VII funded an exhibition to find it. Some explorers claimed they saw towers and lights before the island vanished into the mist. Others returned swearing they had found only barren rocks. Today, most historians think those sailors glimpsed the Porcupine Bank, a shallow undersea plateau that rises close enough to distort the horizon during certain light conditions. But to the people of the Middle Ages, it was more than geology. It was a window into the mystical. Just like Cantre'r Gwaelod, High Brasil blurred the line between map and myth. A phantom island, half remembered, half imagined, too alluring to let go. But of course, no legend of drowned lands can ignore the giant that looms over them all. Atlantis. More than 2 millennia ago, the philosopher Plato described an island empire beyond the Pillars of Hercules, rich, powerful and proud, destroyed in a single day and night of misfortune. For centuries, scholars, explorers and dreamers have searched for it. Modern researchers have proposed that Plato's story may echo real-life catastrophes. The eruption of Thera around 1600 BC that devastated the Minoan civilization, or the flooding of Doggerland, the Stone Age landscape that once connected Britain to mainland Europe. Both were real worlds, swallowed by the sea. So when Plato spoke of Atlantis, maybe he wasn't inventing fantasy, he was preserving memory, much like the Welsh bards who sang of Cantre'r Gwaelod. In every corner of the globe, the sea holds its ghosts. In the Indian Ocean, there's Lemuria, a mythical sunken continent said to have once connected Africa, India and Madagascar. 19th century naturalists even used it to explain how lemurs appeared on islands thousands of miles apart, until plate tectonics provided the real answer. In Russia, the legend of Kitaza tells of a holy city that sank beneath the waters of Lake Svilatya to escape Mongol invasion. Its bells still tolling beneath the surface, just like those said to ring under Cardigan Bay. And in the Pacific, Polynesian stories speak of lands swallowed by the ocean, their survivors forced to sail east in search of new homes. Archaeologists now link some of these tales to post-Ice Age sea level rises that reshaped entire island change. These are not just coincidences, they are echoes of the same anxiety, shared across cultures, the fear of nature's power and the awe of a world that changes faster than we can comprehend. All of these stories, High Brasil, Atlantis, Lemuria, Cantre'r Gwaelod, they share the same DNA. They speak of pride, of loss, of remembrance. And perhaps deep down, they're all fragments of real history, passed down through thousands of years of storytelling. When the Ice Age ended, the seas rose more than 100 metres. Villages, forests, hunting grounds, all gone. The survivors carried those memories in their myths, their songs, their maps. That's why, when we hear of a sunken kingdom off Wales, something inside us recognises it. We've heard this tune before, in every culture, in every tongue. It's the song of a world we once knew, before the waves came. For thousands of years, we've told stories about lands that vanished beneath the sea. From Atlantis to Cantre'r Gwaelod, to every island that exists only on the edge of a map. But the real mystery isn't the land we've lost, it's why we keep looking for it. Because deep down, every one of us wants to believe there are still hidden worlds waiting to be found. That the earth still has secrets, places where time stands still, and the impossible becomes possible. That's why we're drawn to stories like these, not just in legend, but in film, TV and games. It's the same pull that drew us into Lost, where a mysterious island hides from the world, bending time and testing those who find it. An island that feels alive, watching, remembering, a living echo of Cantre'r Gwaelod's drowned soul. It's why we still search for Atlantis in every medium. From Disney's Atlantis, Lost Empire, where explorers descend into a glowing underwater kingdom. Then there's Aquaman's realm of Atlantis, a civilization that survived beneath the waves, majestic and dangerous. And when we see cities like Wakanda in Black Panther, hidden worlds thriving beyond the surface of human understanding, we're watching modern myth-making at work. The same instinct that our ancestors tell stories by firelight are now reborn through film, animation and CGI. Even video games like BioShock, set in the submerged city of Rapture, where human ambition drowns its own creation, they echo Atlantis' warning that every paradise built by human hands can sink under the weight of pride. And when Doctor Who revisits sunken civilizations, or Indiana Jones uncovers lost temples swallowed by time, we're reminded that mystery never dies. It just changes form. We tell these stories again and again because they speak to something ancient inside us, a longing for a world untouched, and a fear that ours could vanish too. Cantre'r Gwaelod isn't just a Welsh legend. It's a mirror, reflecting every lost city, every drowned dream, every civilization that thought it would last forever. And when we stand on the shores of Cardigan Bay, staring into that endless horizon, it's easy to feel that connection, that same haunting curiosity that drives every explorer, storyteller, and dreamer. We need these mysteries. They remind us that there are still corners of our world and our minds we haven't mapped yet. That maybe the truth of Cantre'r Gwaelod isn't about a kingdom that fell, but about our endless need to search for what's been lost, to believe that beneath the waves something still waits to be found. Because every legend, no matter how deep it sinks, still leaves ripples on the surface of time. And that brings us to the end of this journey into the depths of Welsh legend, the story of Cantre'r Gwaelod, the lost kingdom beneath the waves. We hope you've enjoyed exploring this mystery with us, the history, the myth, and the echoes of worlds long forgotten. But before you go, we'd love to hear from you. What are your favourite legends of lost islands and sunken worlds? Maybe it's Atlantis, High Brasil, or perhaps a story from your own country that deserves to be remembered. Please let us know in the comments below. We read every single one. If you've enjoyed this video, please remember to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss out on our next journey into the darker, stranger corners of Welsh history and folklore. Every single click, share, and comment really does help us grow and helps these stories reach new people who love them as much as you do. If you would like to go a little bit further, you can send us a super thanks. It's just a small way to directly support the channel, and it genuinely helps us keep creating these stories and bringing the myths of Wales and the world to life. You can also support us with a hype. It's a new YouTube feature which gives a little extra boost to the videos you love. It basically tells YouTube this one is special. But honestly, as always, the most important thing is you being here right now, watching, listening, sharing these stories with us. We at Dark Wales Tours have always been about more than myths. We're about community, about the people who love history, mystery, and the haunting beauty of the past. So, as always, thank you so very much. Your support, your messages, and the fact you're here right now really does mean the world. And remember, the past isn't gone. It's just waiting beneath the waves. Until next time, be careful out there.